everyone, it's Wendy. Today I'm talking buttons. Now, I was given this bag of shades of green buttons by one of my craft group ladies a couple of weeks ago. Last year sometime she gave me literally a bag, shopping bag full of buttons, and I sat and sorted them all out into bags like this, all shades of brown and brass, shank buttons, all the colours. And then I did set my ladies a challenge to use buttons on your card, which is what I'm going to do sometime in the future and take this in for them. But I thought, what can I do with all these buttons? So last week, I must just show you these. These were in the green bag. Just look at these buttons. There's a hippopotamus, there's ABC, there's pencils. This one is craft paint. Can you see that? Another pencil. This is A. That's got ABC on. Aren't they just lovely? I thought they'd make nice dangles for your journals, which I have done some of those. So I've pulled those out to use up. So I'll show you at the moment what I have made. And what I'd like you to do as a favour to me is, if you've got any brilliant ideas to use buttons, please leave me a comment and let me know. Right, this is one thing I made last weekend. Some clusters, I suppose, really. Just sewed a button on, put some material, some lace, attached a bulb pin with a dangle. Same there. That's got a multi-dangle on. Another one. These are small ones. These are, I think these are Tracy Fox's, and I put a little grommet in and a shank button onto the jump ring, and that's ready. It can either have a paper clip attached or a bulb pin. I did this with a few of them, just put a chain on. This is one of my own buttons that I had. When my mum got taken into a care home, my sister had my mum's old button tin and she let me have it, and inside was these buttons, and I remember knitting my boys a cardigan and I put these owl buttons on it, and I thought, just memories it brought back, honestly. That's another one with a tree button, and these are all just similar dangles with buttons on. That's got 2 buttons. I had great fun making these, I must admit. So I've got quite a little stash of these. So that was one thing I made. Let's just put these away. And I did a number of book spines. Just one second. There's one. I bought some waxed thread, waxed linen thread, and I threaded buttons on. And because it's waxed, it doesn't seem to, the buttons don't slide along, so they just seem to stay where I thread them. And I put some beads on some. Just literally, I just put stuff in this tray and sat with it on my knee with the chain, beads and buttons and lace, and I just sat and did all this last weekend and a few nights. I got some lace and put sewed buttons on. So that's one. This is another one with some eyelash yarn I've put in. Let me just put that one out of the way. This is quite a bulky one. Same again, just put buttons on the wax thread, buttons on the lace. So and I attached them to these sort of large lobster clips. like so. Did quite a few of those. Then I did all these. These are all on the waxed thread. They're all just single. I just put the bulldog clip round them to hold them all together and just threaded the buttons on. So they can just go a few together to make another spine dangle. Like so. I just love the clinking of them. Sounds good. So there's loads of those. On this one, I even put some pieces of hessian. Just threaded the twine through, because it's quite a wide weave hessian. Put beads on some. So I had great fun doing those. So I don't know whether to... Oh, yeah, they're all together. I'll just put this bulldog clip on. So I'll just get some bits together and I'll just make a spine dangle with you. Okay, I've got my large lobster pin or lobster clip. I've cut a couple of pieces of eyelash trim and I'm just cutting my wax twine the same length. Now I'm just going to do 4 pieces of wax twine. So I just pull it out, get them roughly the same. Right, that's 4. It's very waxy, this one. I'm not keen on the feel of it myself, but it's better to use. So I just spread those out, cut the ends of the wax twine so that they're all single threads. I did order the twine off Amazon. I think it was about 9 or 10 euros. Then put those along there, roughly get the middle and make a bit of a loop there, thread it through and then feed the tails through the loop and pull it tight like so. If you're using lace as well, you do the same with the lace, so that stays. So then I pull the eyelash trim out because we don't want to thread anything onto there. So pull that up out of the way, and then you've got 8 pieces of wax twine to put your buttons and beads on. So I'm just going to pull a few buttons out and a few beads. Now I've got a few together when I was tidying my box out, so I just put them all together in this findings box. And also what I did find was these, they're like shells, but they do have a little hole in there, which are great to put on the bottom of the twine because they're quite weighty. So let me just pull some buttons out as well, and I'll just show you how I thread them on. Very straightforward. I just put in one hole from the bottom to the top of the button, and then the twine is over the shank of the front of the button. Just pull it up and then maybe put a bead on. There's some little glass beads here. See, once your twine starts splitting, it's harder with the smaller beads. Put another brown, bigger one on. See, some of the beads, because it's bits of jewellery I got from the charity shop, and they sometimes still have the cotton through the middle, you know what they were threaded on. So that's split my wax thread again. Let's stick to another white one. And let's put another button on. If it's a shank button I'm putting on, I try and loop it round and then thread it through again. Then it tends to stay more along the thread where I want it to, instead of falling down the thread, if you know what I mean. like so, and put another bead on. See if I can put a little white one on. And you just do this on all your pieces of twine. Now the hole in these shell beads is quite small, so all I need to do is put a couple of knots in it, and I know they won't fall off, like so. So you've got your buttons and beads on there. I'll just quickly put a few more buttons on this one, from the back through to the front, and push along. Brown one. If it's a button with 4 holes in, I do diagonal. Like so. I'll go a bit bigger as I go down maybe. This is quite a thick button, but I find this is quite a quick way of using the buttons. Some of the shank buttons I have just put on a bulb pin with a couple of tiny pearls. I'll just finish this one, then I'll show you what I mean. Right, I'm going to put this on the end of that thread, and hopefully that thread will go in. Oh, it's just at the top, that one, it's just come through there. So I know that's not going to go through, back through, once I've put a couple of knots on. Obviously all beads have different size holes in, so you just have to make sure you've got one with a small hole on the end so that the twine doesn't fall through it even with a knot on. So that's another one done. And you can just spread the buttons down the thread, but they don't fall down the thread with use, with it being waxed. So that's how I make the spine dangles. Obviously thread all your twines up. Let's just put that, and then I'll just show you these. When I've made snippet rolls or snippets clusters before, I have put buttons on once I've done all my machine stitching. So that's another way of using buttons as well. And this is the buttons with shanks on. I've just put on a bulb pin with a small pearl on each side. So that could be clipped onto the side of your snippet, like so, through the lace. And that could just be used, dangle off the side of your page. There's another one. That's like a nice faceted black button. So that's a good way of using them. And I did make a Christmas card with one, just a sec. No, I can't find it. I must have put it away upstairs. It's got, I did it on craft card and I put the buttons on, sort of like that. And I made them look like baubles and did a straight line with a Sharpie pen and put a little bow with the Sharpie pen. So it all looks like the baubles are hanging down. So that was a good way of using nice round green ones. So I hope you make use of your buttons, and please, if you've got any good ideas, let me know in the comments below and I'll come and have a visit and see what you've done. I would really enjoy that. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.